What's up guys, it's Bucky and welcome to your second programming C tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be building a basic calculator. But before I do that, I want to talk to you guys about something I'm going to be using in this tutorial called an escape string. Now, as you can see, whenever we printed hello world in the last tutorial, we printed it all on one line. But what if we wanted to print all these words on different lines? Let's put hello there YouTube. If we printed this, it would all print on one line. But if we wanted to print it on each different lines, we need to include a special character called an escape character. Now, escape characters do something out of the ordinary in any string of text. For example, \t would add a tab or 5 spaces in your text, but we're going to want to add a new line. So what we need to add is \n between hello and there, and \n between there and YouTube. And as you can see, whenever I execute, compile, and run this, you're going to see hello, there, and YouTube are all on separate lines right there. And this is because anytime the computer sees a \n, it doesn't treat it as actual text. It knows whenever it sees a backslash followed by a character, then it's going to have to do something weird. And in this case, I'm going to be using the \n in this tutorial, so I figured I'm going to have to tell you guys what it actually meant. So, in this tutorial, let's get to what we promised, or what I promised I'll teach you guys to do, and that's build a simple calculator. And before I do that, I need to introduce you guys a concept called variables. Now, what a variable is pretty much a way of storing data in your computer. So you have to do this a very particular way in C programming. The first thing you need to do is tell your program what type of variable you're going to be using. And since I'm going to be using an integer, and integers, in case you forgot, are like -4, 5, 30, 560, and they can even be 0 as an integer. It's basically just a whole number that can be negative as well as positive. So after you tell the computer what type of variable you're working with, you're going to have to name your variable. And you can name it whatever you want. You can name it baboon if you want. I'm going to name my num1 because it's just easy to remember. And don't, when you're naming your variable, don't name it starting with a number. You can use letters and numbers. You can't use any symbols like that. But make it start with a letter, and that's pretty much all the rules you guys need to know for now. Just don't name anything weird. So in this calculator, we're gonna have to enter 2 numbers, and it's gonna calculate the sum for us. So we already have a variable for our first number. Let's put int num2. That's gonna be our second number, and the last is gonna be an integer called sum. So now that we have all our variables, we actually need a value for these variables, and we're gonna have to get the value from the user itself. So right now we have 3 variables, and let's enter just a statement on the screen. Put enter your numbers, and this is just going to make it easier for the user, so the user is going to be able to see what they have to do. The next function that I want to teach you guys is a function called scanf, and this is a function that's going to allow the computer to get value from the user and plug it into the variable. So if you're wondering, alright, how the heck does this work? Well, pay attention and you'll learn. Type in scanf and add all your parentheses and semicolons. And inside your first argument, inside your parentheses, you're going to have to tell scanf what type of data type it's going to be receiving. And since we're going to be working with decimal integers, we're going to want to put %d. Now this %x tells what data type, and the D right here stands for decimal integer, and that's the first thing you need to put in scanf. And then add a comma, and the next thing that you need to add is an ampersand, which is the and sign, and your variable name num1. So what this does is this: your scanf says, alright, you're gonna be getting input from the user. It's going to be a number input, and I'm going to want you to take that number and plug it into the variable num1. So now whenever you print out the variable num1, it's going to be whatever value they entered. So we did that for the first variable. Let's copy this and let's do it for the second variable as well. Just change this to num2, and now the second number they enter is going to be stored in num2. But for sum, we want to do something a little different. We don't want them to enter a value for sum. We want them to calculate the sum by adding num1 and num2. So how do we do that? This is the most simple thing you'll ever learn in your entire life. Put sum equals num1 plus num2. Bam. Now the sum variable is equal to whatever number they put in for num1 and num2. And now, just to prove you guys that this actually worked, I'm just going to print on the screen, use my printf function. I want to print, let's put let's put the sum is %d, since we're going to be working with a variable. But what variable do we want to output? Your sum is, and it's not going to actually print %d. This means, alright, what variable, and then you tell it the variable. So pretty much, so let me run this and show you guys what it does, and then I'll talk you guys through it. Hopefully I don't got any errors. Come on. Beautiful. Enter your number 4, another number 6. The sum is 10. Wow, we already go out and start applying for C programming jobs. Actually not yet, I gotta teach you guys a couple more things, but here's what it did. We told the computer we were going to be using 3 variables called num1, num2, and sum. We allowed it to give us the message, enter your number. We typed in the first variable and it stored it in num1. We typed in the second number and it stored it in the variable num2. It added those numbers together and it said the sum is, and then it says output a variable right here. But what variable? Sum. So there you guys go. That is how you build a basic calculator in the C programming language. Again, I'm going to be putting all this source code on my website, thenewboston.com. So if you want it, just go to my website, thenewboston.com, and get it. It's going to be right there. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep watching these videos, and I'll keep teaching you guys how to program in C. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And I'll end it with me running this program one more time. 8, 435. The sum is 443. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.